Hello and welcome to excelexperts.com, and today we're going to look at the calculator that attempts to answer the question, should I buy, do up and sell as a business? So if you don't already have the calculator, you can get it from excelexperts.com, www.excelexperts.com, and on the main page you scroll down to the property calculators and there's this one, should I buy, do up and sell. Click on the link. You can download the Excel file. There's two, one with 0 values and the other one with the example values. Download the one with 0 values and open it. It should be very safe. It doesn't have any macros, so this one, and then you can play with the calculator. So let's go through a worked example of how this works. So what I'm going to do is enter various values into the cells and have a look at the calculations change and explain exactly what's going on in the calculator. So let's have a look at the house price here. So in this case I'm going to buy a house worth £500,000. Pounds, dollars, pence, it doesn't matter. This is how much money I've got in the bank. I'm going to say I've got 50,000. My renovation budget, separate to the amount in the bank, this is what I'm tucking away to spend on renovation. Let's say I'm going to spend 100,000. So when I enter the renovation budget, it amortizes that amount over the whole time period, so that I spend a total of 16,667 every month, and that totals to 100,000. So time 0 means right now, today. 1 means the first month, and so on. So if we sum those, it's 100,000. The deposit amount, so this is how much I'm going to use as deposit. Let's put 15%. Notice our cash flows change whenever we enter a value, and our cash position changes. Cost of buying, let's try 4%. Cost of selling 3. This is the sum of all selling costs and all buying costs. Here is a helpful little tip. So on selling, you've got solicitors, estate agents, home information packs, whatever. Annual maintenance, well, if you buy and you're doing up, you still need to maintain the property. Things still fall off, so 1%. Mortgage broker fee, this is the arrangement fee for the mortgage that you're going to get. Let's enter 1,000. Post-tax annual credit interest rate. So if you've got money and it's in the bank, how much are you actually getting in interest? Let's try 2%. It's March 09 and interest rates are pretty low. Debit annual interest rate. So if you have to borrow to fund this project, how much are you going to be paying in interest? Well, interest rates can be quite high if you're borrowing on a loan, so maybe 8%. Mortgage annual interest rate, 5. Just an example. Expected annual house price market change. So when you buy a place, you're adding value to it, but if the market goes down, you may lose all the value that you've just added. So I think it's very important to enter a realistic value. Let's enter minus 10% for this year, and this is the additional expected value added that you're going to add to the house price. So for a £500,000 house, I want to add probably 30% to the value if all the market stays exactly the same. So let's enter 30. Post-tax monthly credit interest rate. So these are all, anything in grey is calculated for you. So the calculator works month by month, as you can see here, and these are all the monthly versions of everything that you've entered up here. So that'll give you some idea. Expected maximum project length in months. So I've entered 6. This is however long it takes you to do the project. Be pessimistic in your assumptions here, otherwise you may overstretch yourself. So you could enter 8. If you enter 8, the calculations come down a little bit further. The cost of the renovation is amortized over a longer period, so therefore each amount is smaller. So the start date, this is defaulted to today. I've entered a formula called equals today, as you can see there, but you can enter whatever date you expect to start the project on. Hours spent per day. So if you are doing this project, it's very useful to add in the cost of your own time. You may neglect this. Personally, I really value my own time and my free time, and there is a definite cost to that. It means that time less spent with family or less time on the golf course, whatever, that has a certain value. You're essentially getting paid to do this by Do Up and Sell. So let's say you spend 4 hours a day and you value at 20 an hour. So if we have a look at the profit and loss, in this case we stand to lose 78,000. The breakdown of that is in various things, but primarily we're not really adding enough value, and very importantly the house price is going down. There's also very big costs of buying and selling here. So in order to make a profit, one of the things that we can do is use Excel's goal seek function. So let's have a look at how that works. Alt-T-G, goal seek. So I want to set this to be a profit, or at least no loss. Change the value to 0 by changing cell this one. So how much do I expect to add? So in this case, if I can add 47% to the value of this house by my renovations in 8 months, with these costs, with the market going down 10% a year, I break even, which essentially means that I get paid for the time that I've entered here. So that's quite a useful calculation, and being paid for that in this sense may be advantageous to you on a tax basis. So let's go back. I just press Control Z to undo that, and I'm going to have a look at something else. Let's have a look at what happens if we do this for house price. Change the house price to value. So I'm going to set this cell to value 0 by changing the house price. Okay, in this case what it's saying is, if I'm adding 30% to the value of a house, and with all of these assumptions, I need to buy a really expensive house and really go all out in order to break even. And doing it on the $500,000 house just doesn't cut it. So these are some of the things that you can do with the Buy, Do Up and Sell calculator. Find out whether being a property developer is for you. One observation that I would make is that in a falling market, it's seemingly to me very difficult to make money. In a rising market, let's enter 10%. We'll go back to our £500,000 house. We've already made a profit. Let's see what happens, what we can reduce this percentage to. So if we reduce that, so I'm going to set this cell to 0 by changing this cell. I could add 29% and I still break even. Let's take out my own time costs. I make 21,000 on this. Let's goal seek this again. So set this to 0 by changing that. So I could only add 25% to the value after my renovation costs, and I've made money, or I've not lost money in this case. So I think it really depends on how you look at this business and the tax advantages, and obviously various other things, and what there is else to do in the market. Thank you for your time, and good luck with your buying, doing up and selling. Thanks, bye.